When it comes to mosquitoes, it's important that you know there's over 3,000 species of mosquitoes worldwide. Now, in the state of Georgia, there's more than 60 species. Mosquitoes exhibit a wide range of habits, they occupy a wide range of habitats. They can be in areas like grassy pond margins, standing water in fields and forests, catch basins, common yard debris, tires, flower pots, tree cavities. Really, anything that holds water can obviously be a great area for mosquitoes to breed. When it comes to their flight range, they could be a few hundred feet for some species, whereas they can be greater than 100 miles when aided by wind with others. Now, as many of you can imagine, mosquitoes are an annoying pest. One of the biggest reasons why we want to control mosquitoes is just because they're annoying. You don't want to go out and be bitten by mosquitoes any more than I do or anybody else does. So that's one of the biggest factors with mosquitoes, is that they are an annoying pest. The other issue with mosquitoes is they cause major economic losses. You may think, what would some of these economic impacts be? They could impact tourism, especially in coastal areas. I've noticed all over the southeast and the Gulf Coast, mosquitoes are a major nuisance problem. They can really affect recreation. When that happens, that means people are going to spend less time outside, they're going to spend less money. So this can be a really big deal for restaurants and other areas that people would visit outdoors along those areas. Agriculture can be impeded. So those of you working in agriculture would understand this. If mosquitoes are just eating you alive when you're trying to work out there, this can slow you down. This can cause a lot of problems in that process. And I would say this leads to kind of a lower efficiency of employees in the industry. So if you've got people out working and they're sitting and swatting mosquitoes over and over again and worrying about being bitten, they're obviously not going to be as productive as they would otherwise be. Just to give you an idea, we're looking at a state like Georgia. There's over $125 million a year spent in states like Georgia just to control mosquitoes. Let's talk about the different habitats of mosquitoes. Water habitats vary among mosquito species. We specifically break the species down into larval breeding habitats. Larval breeding habitats include permanent water bodies, transient areas of water, floodwaters, and artificial containers, also known as the tree hole breeding group. Now, when we look at the permanent water group of mosquitoes, they're commonly found in bodies of fresh water that are slow moving or protected from wind and waves. They're going to need sunlight exposure, and they need abundant vegetation and floating plant matter to be able to breed. Furthermore, with the permanent water group, species in this group lay eggs on top of the water. Now, these eggs are going to be laid singly or in rafts depending on the species. Just to give you a quick idea of this, when you think about the single egg-laying mosquitoes in these permanent freshwater areas, the first one that comes to mind is the Anopheles mosquito. Now, when we think about the mosquitoes that lay eggs in rafts in these types of areas, I would think about the Culex mosquito. I can tell you, when I was growing up, when I would go around these permanent bodies of water, I would notice the Culex eggs in rafts quite commonly. I didn't realize when I was a kid that's what I was seeing, but now, after having worked in the pest management industry since 1999, I understand when you're seeing these rafts of floating eggs that are black in color like you're seeing here, those are going to be your Culex eggs, and that's going to mean Culex mosquitoes are breeding in that area. It's very important these species' eggs are sheltered from winds and waves, or their larvae will drown. Vegetation is needed to protect the larvae from predatory fish and to allow certain larval species to attach to it.